Hi viewers, so let's start with today's analysis. I think a disappointing day for the traders, but a very good day for the investors. And why I'm saying so? So yesterday, as I was talking about, US is not looking good. The global markets are not looking good. We are seeing that the US market are getting nervous with the Trump policies. People are taking them with a pinch of salt now, and the way the interest and the debt problems are just keep on increasing in US. The $36 trillion of foreign investment that is getting panicked, that is getting nervous, and that is why there's a lot of outflow from the US markets. And again, I told you yesterday, the problem is that for a lot of time now, last decade or so, there was a Tina factor that there is no alternative other than US, and people were very happy in investing in US because US could absorb that much of liquidity into its stride. But the problem now is, if you take out money from US, where do you take the money? People are still afraid of taking investing money in China. They don't have good policies anyways to allow the foreign investors to come in. Hong Kong markets are very shallow. Even Japanese markets are not doing good. Anyways, people are always looking for Japanese yen and Japanese bonds as one of the options, but not the Japanese stock market as such, which people have been investing for long period of time. But again, the returns are not so superior in the Japanese bond yields, although they are trading at all-time high, but still they are not very high. India again is a very small market and cannot absorb the liquidity, so where to go? So, in spite of all the problems, that is what is happening. That Indian markets are not coming down. Today was a beautiful opportunity to enter the markets, and I think and I assume that all people who were waiting for some correction has entered the markets. Actually, I have entered the markets today when the market was pretty close to low, exactly low. I could not capture, but still 50 points plus and minus, I could capture the markets. I think this time market should touch around 25,200. This is what I can assume for. The reason is very simple that people want to shift the allocation of money from the US markets to other markets, and India can be one of the options because the macros of India are extremely superior. The macros of India are looking extremely better. There's a political stability. The way we are going into the international world is just unimaginable. It's something like what China has done in 90s and early 2000, 2000s. That is the kind of change that I'm seeing now in the Indian market. So today there was a news that India, along with BEL, along with DRDO, will now be developing AS-400 missile. So probably there is a technology transfer which we call as TOT, transfer of technology, which has probably been given for Russia to India for AS-400. Now we're developing AS-400. So imagine the kind of aims, imagine the kind of visibility our leaders are showing, the defense industry is showing, Make in India campaigns. I think it is unbelievable. I've never seen such kind of formidability in the Indian markets, Indian companies. I would have hoped the Indian IT company would have done some wonders, but probably disappointed with the Indian IT companies as such. But I think the defense sector, the PSU companies are showing that much kind of thrust now. They are showing that kind of vision, and I think with full support of government, we are looking for that. So it gave me a lot of confidence. And believe me, I think today's low probably should not be breached in the final week of the expiry. Although the shorts are not being covered by the FIA, they're still short. But I think the last 1 hour of recovery today was showing some story. I would not be surprised that if some shorts could have been covered today, I would be highly surprised that all the recovery could have come from DIS only. If that is the story, then probably we are still in the problem. We will see some more selling tomorrow or in the penultimate week, which is coming for the expiry. If not, if the shorts are being covered from FIs, then we'll probably see uh, the Nifty on the high. We will not be surprised that Nifty closes this series on a high, which means the Nifty can cross 25,200 and can reach 25,500, where I think the profits can be booked and again sit on the sidelines. We have been sitting on the sidelines for last week or so. We got the opportunity today. We entered into the markets today. At least I entered the markets today. And if at all the numbers in the evening, which will be very crucial, we might see some selling in cash, but that's not important. In the derivatives, if we'll see some kind of shorts being covered by FI, that will be great news. On the other hand, if the entire recovery is sponsored by only DIs, then I think my theory can be wrong and we'll see some more selling, or maybe that we close the series on a lower side. But the screen was telling me that the shorts have been covered. That's what I can assume. And the market has behaved very, very, I would say, maturely. So the index which is connected to the US market, which is IT index, was low today. But Bank Nifty, which is purely running on its own macros, which is purely domestic driven, I think that saw a smart recovery, and we almost covered 400 points of downfall today, which was phenomenal. I think because on expiry day, last 1 hour, if you're covering if you're seeing a recovery, which means stocks are being covered. And again, the problem with intraday traders, you see, initially the put writers got trapped today because there was a lot of put writing on 24,600, 24,500. All those levels got breached, and then when there was call writing on 24,600, 500, those levels also got breached in the second session. So very difficult to trade these kind of intraday moves. I don't know. I don't have any capacity, any knowledge, any power to visualize, to assume what will happen, and I don't do that, and I don't recommend doing that at all to the internet traders also. I've told you that with the Japanese yen being higher, the Japanese bond yields being higher, foreign investors are looking for higher returns, and this is the way they will try to earn money by burning your hands in intraday moves. These are all hedge funds which create this kind of moves in the markets, which are unpredictable and unthinkable because the market will give you a different trend altogether. So, who would have hoped today that after falling around 350, 360 points intraday in the Nifty, you would have seen a recovery of around 200 points? That was very difficult to imagine. Bank Nifty, which was down 500 points at one point of time, actually was just 80 points down. So it was very difficult to anticipate this kind of moves, but this is how it is. Uh, the actual trigger point was again US with the kind of selling which happened yesterday. Dow was down by around 800 points. हमने कल बहुत खुल के बात करी थी. US markets are not looking good. The global markets are not looking good. We are seeing pain in the global markets, and this will continue. This will definitely continue. It is not the end. Uh, People are losing trust on trap, and Dollar Index is telling you the exact story. Dollar Index is still hovering below 100, which is, I mean, again a bliss for the Indian markets. And today the downfall in the crude that also actually triggered the move in the second half, because there's again a news now that the OPEC plus countries are thinking of increasing the production by 4 lakh barrels per day in July also. So they've cut it, they increased in May, they increased in June. Now they're thinking of reviving the production in July also. So which means that a lot of supply is coming into the markets, and they are now no takers because US economy is expected to slow down. China is already slowing down. Uh, so who are the countries who can buy, consume the crude oil? The global uh, GDP growth is coming down, and moreover, if the pressure is increasing, it's a double-edged sword on the crude prices, and I think crude prices should remain below $65 for a long time now. I mean, it's not only about months now. I assume, I think for a year and a half, 2 years also, if we see Brent on an average $65, I'm not surprised. We might see some spikes here and there because of geopolitical issues or some kind of news which are planted here and there. For example, somebody planted even US planted a news that Israel is trying to attack the nuclear facilities of Iran. It was purely planted news, nothing else. We all know that it's very difficult to bombard the Iranian nuclear facilities, and if it is doing that, the intels will show that, and a lot of people will cover that. It was purely a planted news just to intimidate the Iranian authorities, so that they quickly make a deal with US on the they want the enrichment of uranium to come down. But let's see how it goes. So those are all planted news. Crude should remain down according to me below $65. That's what it's showing, and that is a big positive. That is why you're seeing the inflation numbers so low. The monsoon is coming 5 days earlier this time. We're already seeing rains in Bombay and other areas, which means that the monsoon is set to come, and the monsoon is expected to be normal, in fact, above normal, 105%. What else do you need if you're in the markets? Already the Nifty companies' earnings have shown you green shoots. I'm not saying the earnings have been good, but they've been better than expected, and they've shown you green shoots going forward. But the only problem with India which remains is 6.2, 6.5 GDP growth. If the GDP is growing by 6.2 to 6.5, then we can't expect Nifty earnings to grow more than 12 to 14%, 12 to 15%. That's a range. That's the history which we have seen, and that's how it happens. But let's see how it goes and how it happens. But as of now, the GDP growth is expected to be around 6.4 to 6.5% for FY26, and for FY27 around 6.2, 6.3. These are numbers which came yesterday from Morgan Stanley. If we assume the numbers are right, then this is where we're headed, and probably all the agencies have given the same range of numbers. So now, what's the strategy and what should we do? So again, watch for the numbers today evening. If you see FNO numbers good from FIIs, if you see stock futures buying, index futures buying, or if you see some shorts getting covered, long getting added, if you see this kind of data, it will be a very positive data for tomorrow and the week which is coming for. I think Bank Nifty should again touch 56,000. The kind of move which Bank Nifty has given today, I'm not surprised that we again see 56,000 plus levels in Bank Nifty. And don't forget, 55,000 put writers which are there on a monthly basis on Bank Nifty, because weekly expiry is not there. They're not moving an inch. Even India Pakistan time, the Bank Nifty went to 53,500, and I think some 2 3 days before also we went to 54,500. But the 55,000 put writers are not getting puzzled, they're not getting afraid at all, which means that there are full chances, more than full chances, that Bank Nifty will close above 51,000, which means if put writers have to actually get some amount, I'm not surprised if the Bank Nifty closes at the series high, and we might even cross 56,000 and close around 56,500 or so, which is the levels which is profits. As of now, according to me, 25,200 odd is the level which I can foresee in Nifty, and around 56,000 is what I can, 56,000 plus, around 56,500 plus numbers I can expect in Bank Nifty. It will be led by again ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank, followed by SBI and other banks. Probably PSU Bank will also contribute to this rally. This is what is market actually showing us, because FIs have entered into a TINA with respect to India. They have no option other than India. They cannot move out. They have no other place to hide. Dollar index is not giving them trade. Yes, they can go for bond yields, because after yesterday's move, bond yields actually touched for a moment of time around 4.6 also, and now it is also trading around 4.55, which is very high. So people who are interested in just safe trade, they don't want to go here and there, then I think it's very easy to invest your money in a US bond yield, which I think some money would actually be going there. But the people who are interested in doing trading, active investing, equity investing, they have very limited options now, and I will not be surprised that Nifty does not break the 23,800, 24,000 levels for some months to come now, because now we're touching the upper ranges now. This is what I assume, but I'm very highly confident that should happen, and market will try to anticipate some good numbers for next quarter. Uh, let's see how it goes. Or it will remain sideways, but I don't see it going down very drastically downwards. And probably by the end of the year, we will see again those kind of all-time highs being reached. It's the market are poised like that, absolutely poised like that. And the news which BEL and DRDO gave for developing S400, I think I was very happy to see that, because it shows the strength of the country. That once we tasted the success of S400 in this India-Pakistan attack, we were quick to have the vision to make it in India, to reduce the cost and to have it on a larger scale. See, if you keep on buying the items from Russia, there's no harm. The problem is you can't buy at those cost levels. That is one thing. Second, you can't reproduce those things in a massive scale, because for that you need to have lesser cost, more less dependence on the spare parts, technicians, TOTs, technologies, other things on other countries. And Russia has been a good friend to India. I don't think if they would have denied the TOT, which is transfer technology, I think they would have given that. And India and BEL and DRDO are two very big and renowned organizations of India. They have full capability to develop this kind of missile, and I think they can do a fantastic job. So on a Nifty level, I would still see overall markets looking still resilient and still looking good. Global markets to me are still looking weak, and they are not the markets to be invested in. We will continue to see outflow from the American markets going forwards. Also, Trump is not giving any confidence to any of the investors, whether it's foreign or domestic investors. People are worried now. People are, they are afraid of making big investments, which means that people will look for alternatives, and India is giving them a perfect alternative because of political stability and the macro stability. So sit tight, hold your positions, try to play the small moves, and try to gain out of it. That's the thing, because you will not be getting very big fancy dips now. I don't think market will give you, even with the bad news, the market will give you a limited downfall now, because we are too good to fall now. It's looking like that. So with this, I'll end my analysis for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you will like the video. Thanks so much.